It is October 14th, 2023, and this is the latest news update for Medellin, Colombia, and Colombia as a whole. Follow along.
You're watching DC-born Rob, erasing news. And now, the news.
Okay, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever it is you're located. Thanks for watching. You're watching DC-born Rob, erasing borders. I'm DC Rob. I have about 7 or 8 quick stories that I'm going to run through this morning. First, with an update of the story that I did a few days ago about the American who was kidnapped and held, and turns out he was actually tortured. So let me just reread a little bit of that story and we'll jump into the rest of the stories here. Again, first up, the foreigner who was a victim of kidnapping had been living in the capital of Antioquia for about a month. It all started about a month ago when the victim, who had already come to the capital of Antioquia on different occasions, returned to settle down for work. He settled in a house in Las Palmas and hired a platform driver who had already mobilized him on other occasions. Things were going well for this foreigner until October 6th, when after work and at night he arrived at his home in company of his driver. When they entered the property, they were surprised by 4 criminals, including a minor. The victims were gagged and tortured into handing over account information and the password to the safe. During the beating and kidnappings, one of the foreigners, his teeth was knocked out. Of course, after that, they rounded them up. There was a brief gunfight with the army division that was tracking them, and they confiscated. They got everything back. I mean, they took everything. They cleaned his house out. They took blenders. Dude, you stealing blenders? I mean, they took everything that was, so you got to be careful. And I heard they're doing this too for Airbnbs. They'll rent an Airbnb and then just clean the place out, blenders included. Anyway, next up. If you are a bike rider in Medellin, the metropolitan area of the Aburrá Valley has introduced a new mobile application, EnCicla 24/7, designed to offer an alternative to using the Cívica card when accessing the EnCicla public bicycle system. Just so you know, the Cívica card is the one that you used to use to get on the train. I think it's on the buses too, but it's good for the cable cars. This app launched on October 12th. Provides users of various functions, including bicycle loans, checking availability at stations, route planning via the city's cycle network usage statistics, and the ability to report station failures, bicycle issues, vandalism, or bike shortages. The application is available on both Android and iOS devices and aims to serve the 128,000 registered users of the Sustainable Transportation Service. The future plans include expanding the system to approximately 138 stations across the 10 municipalities of the Aburrá Valley. Okay, this next video I'm going to show just because it's a robbery, but I want to show you the guy's reaction. There was comments on social media too. I mean, they're robbing people at dinner on La 70 with the kids. I mean, as soon as you see the kids, dude, you should have walked away. But anyway, this man responded properly. So, a disturbing incident of the insecurity in Medellin's 70th sector circulated on social media as a thief entered a restaurant threatening a family with a gun in hand. The entire episode was captured by security cameras, revealing the family dining peacefully when a man, seemingly just another customer, abruptly approached them. Wearing a Colombian national team jersey, the criminal brandished a firearm, menacingly demanding the man's cell phone and possessions. Social media discussions condemned the robbery while acknowledging the importance of the man's non-confrontational reaction, potentially preventing a more tragic outcome. That's right. Have your stuff ready. I mean, like if you remember that video with the girl on the bus, she switched that phone real quick. You need to be ready. Got to have that extra cheap cell phone. Hell, I don't know how many cell phones right now that you can have. I'll make sure it's blank for you so you can start from scratch. Also, that fake wallet, those fake credit cards, that fake money, whatever. Have something that's inexpensive to give away, or a cheap watch. I never wear an expensive watch there. I just want to know what time it is. That's all. Okay, after a 10-month investigation, the Medellin police have successfully apprehended 9 members of the criminal gang operating in the northwest of the city. This group was involved in crimes such as conspiracy, forced displacement, extortion, kidnapping, aggravated extortion, and personal injuries targeting neighborhoods like La Piñeras, Antonio Nariño, and La Loma. Their tactics include displacing individuals who refuse to pay extortion fees, seizing their property, constructing homes, and even threatening merchants who resisted paying weekly extortion amounts ranging in from 15,000 to 30,000 pesos. And this is in Comuna Tracy. I told you, the one time I had the feeling of insecurity was up there because you know who's in charge of that area, right? When you go up the set of escalators and you see there's somebody from the neighborhood and there's somebody wearing a vest like they're a government official or a park official, and you go up the next escalator and there's one of them. But you know, between those two, who's running the show. They don't want you to leave that neighborhood, you ain't getting out of there. Anyway, during the operation, law enforcement confiscated firearms, ammunition, and cell phones, with one key arrest being that the individual known as Attila, and that is in Comuna Tracy. The General Hospital of Medellín has made a historic announcement, becoming the first and only public hospital in the city to register as a heart transplant entity with the donation and transplant network of the National Institute of Health. This significant milestone signifies a commitment to improving medical care and responding to critical community needs. It also instills trust in the hospital's ability to provide safe and essential healthcare services. The hospital efforts aim to offer more patients a second chance at life through heart transplants, reflecting their dedication to the well-being of the community and fulfilling a vital commitment. As part of Mental Health Week, the Antioquia government has temporarily set up 10 listening stations in Medellin Center, offering free psychological care and assistance for professionals. These stations, operational from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. in the Plaza de Botero, primarily cater to street dwellers and informal workers. Over the past 2 years, the Antioquia Health Secretariat mental health program has provided assistance to more than 7,500 people, with 70% being young adults aged 14 to 35. Additionally, the mayor's office of Medellin maintains over 100 permanent listening points throughout the city. That's a good idea. We need to have that here. On that note, if anybody is struggling with mental health or depression or just stress in relationships and dealing with the kids and loss, reach out to someone. Reach out to someone. Please don't try to bear this on your own. Sometimes you have to talk about it with someone else. So this is a good opportunity here. I don't know why they don't do that here in the United States. Idea, people. Okay, today, and I'm getting ready to run out in a few minutes. We're actually going to see it's a partial eclipse. By the time this posts, it'll be too late. I'm going to run out. Supposedly just a certain part of it will cross here in Houston. So I'm going to run outside in a few minutes and check that out. But it's supposed to be around 11 a.m. In Medellin. And I guess it's where the moon comes in front of the sun this time. So if you're there and you see it, let me know what you think. Don't take pictures. You know, I'm going to go out and see what I can see, but just to see if it gets dark, really. I don't really know if I'm going to be looking directly at it. Maybe I need to get my shades. But anyway, take proper care. I had this story and these stories prepared a couple of days ago, and it took me a couple of days to get them out. I was going to alert you on things that you should not do, but obviously, don't just look directly at the sun. Okay. A woman in Villanueva, Medellin, narrowly avoided a potential deadly situation when her motorcycle was stolen by armed robbers. While the woman was not harmed physically, the thieves used a gun to threaten her, forcing her to relinquish her motorcycle and other valuable items. The incident, captured on security cameras, highlights the rising trend of vehicle thefts and the dangerous tactics employed by criminals, where victims are often faced with life-threatening situations. Thankfully, in this case, it did not result in tragedy, although it serves as a stark reminder of the growing security concerns in the area. EPM, the organization responsible for Medellin's Christmas lighting, successfully installed 16 fiberglass poles, each standing at 24 meters in height, and with the assistance of an Mi-8 helicopter. This operation involved 15 ground workers and 5 in the air, showcasing the intricate preparation for the 2023 Christmas lighting display. Due to access challenges in Parque del Rio, a central location for the event, the helicopter was used to hoist the poles into position. EPM has been renowned for its innovative and creative Christmas lighting displays for 56 years, consistently surprising the community with monumental decorations every December. The prosecutor's office has initiated an investigation to ascertain the circumstances surrounding an incident involving former Medellin Mayor Daniel Quintero, who claimed to have been the victim of an attack while participating in the campaign event in Medellin. Quintero shared a video on social media depicting a white van hitting him against a taxi while he distributed political flyers, and he denounced this act. He also attributed the incident to former Medellin Mayor Federico Gutierrez and former President Alvaro Uribe, suggesting that they may have encouraged such attacks. The investigation will involve reviewing evidence, including security camera footage, to determine what transpired during the event. Okay, I'm going to end on a lighter note, and then I want to talk to you a quick second about which news to watch. Okay, Kenneth Moore, an American living in Colombia for over 15 years, recently competed for Colombia in an international powerlifting competition. Kenneth broke 2 world records for Colombia. There were 240 lifters from 11 countries, and only 5 lifters broke world records. Kenneth was the only one that broke 2 of these records. Kenneth will be 65 in December. Way to go, Kenneth. And thanks for watching the videos too. Thanks for sharing this story. If anybody else has any stories there to share, good, bad, and different, please share it. But this is a positive one. Way to go, Kenneth. 65, broke 2 world records for Colombia. That's what's up. Okay, let me leave you on this too, about which news to watch. Be careful. Even I choose which stories to show here. Okay, I have to go through and read a whole bunch of stories and then convert them and have them reduced down to 1 paragraph. But my whole thing is I'm picking the stories to show, because if I pick stories that you won't watch, it's the waste of my time. If I pick stories that you may want to watch and somebody may get robbed, or it has some good video to go along with it, it could be slanted in a certain direction. If all my videos were that way, then yes, it would direct you in a certain direction. Just remember which media you watch. Everybody, if you're a Republican, chances are you watch Fox. If you're Democrats, you watch CNN and MSNBC, and they both slant. I'm a Democrat. I know they slant. When they start giving their opinion, now this is just a stupid thing, or this is an insane thing. Let me decide that. Just tell me the news. Just tell me the facts. We are being focused and directed depending upon which news media source you watch. I've been watching WION lately, WION. Pretty informative. Even Al Jazeera. The most one where you're going to get all the facts is NPR with Amy Goodman. And she just sits there with her monotone voice, and she can, in today's news, and this happened and that happened. She doesn't influence her opinion into it. She just states what the facts are. And her partners, they are all the same. NPR is my choice for news because of that. They give me the stories that I'm interested in, and they don't slant it. They don't slant that view. And remember, every time you say something negative, and there'll be people commenting here, there's Biden, you need to get rid of Biden because of that. Well, I know what news you watch. And if you go, there's something against Trump, I know, well, that's a little bit different, but I know where you got that information from. But be careful when they all get together, because they're all getting together right now. And if you remember years ago, before we went in Iraq, the mushroom cloud, we don't want the smoking gun to be a mushroom cloud. Now it's Hamas is ISIS. Watch it where you hear it. Whenever I start hearing this stuff, I start to realize they are directing us. The media is working with the government to have us think a certain way. Then they'll jump on social media and just make it even 100 times worse. So I'm just putting this little piece out at the end so that you are aware that we are being directed what to watch. And most Americans, we just believe what we see and believe what we told. Some people still believe 2 planes brought down the Twin Towers in New York, that a building can actually fall. That tall building can fall straight down on itself. It defies logic. It's not possible. So when people still believe that, it drives me crazy. Or the plane that flew into the Pentagon, but there's no plane, there's no wings, there's just a hole where the size of a missile in the side of the building, but people still believe a plane drove into it. It drives me mad that Americans just believe anything we are told. Especially when we're told over and over and over again, that's how it works. The media works with the government and tells us that. But be discerning, even with what I show. I can take criticism. You're showing too much of this. You're showing too much of that. I try to keep it even. I try to end on something positive. And today was pretty fair across the board. But I'm still the one. I'm the editor that goes in and picks the stories. I'm the producer that decides, pull that story, or take this one out, and I rotate it. I mean, it's still me. And so I am rereading a story that is I have to redo, because obviously I can't read their story that has been converted to English, because he and she is all over the spot. I got to take every story, redo it, and get it down to a paragraph. Then it's a lot. But I'm still the one that's picking it. So just be careful who and what you watch for your news source. Again, I vote NPR all day long. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Remember to travel, but travel safe.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
On behalf of the flight crew, thank you for flying with us and have a pleasant day.
Headed to Medellin, Colombia? See my guy Andres with Nomad Travel for safe airport pickups and drop-offs and tours. Contact information in the description below. Join me on social media. I am DC Born Rob Official on Instagram. I am DC Born Rob Official 1 on TikTok. I am DC Born Rob O on Twitter. Don't be like this guy right here.
You're just so stupid. I had to send you a video to let you know you're so stupid.
That's right. Don't be like this guy right here. Join me on social media.